aggressive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another live show. Big up to everyone that's already locked in. Make sure you smash the like, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. And as always, people, there is plenty to dive into. We've got all the latest transfer news with apparently Chelsea out of the race with Dean Huijsen, with Marc reportedly the main target at centre-back for Chelsea. Got the latest of Jadon Sancho with reports from Germany stating that he is pushing for a return to the Bundesliga, with Dortmund and Leverkusen both interested in him. We've also got the latest on the stadium with the stand-by-stand rebuild completely ruled out, leaving two options on the table. So we would also dive back into that as well. Plus, any questions you lot have in the chat as always. But guys, before we dive into it, before I say hello to a few people, just a quick reminder, make sure you check out Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off your Chelsea kits and free shipping. Names, numbers, patches, whatever you want, guys. Make sure you check out Jersey's FC Soccer Shop. Blue Brother, 20% off. Link in the description. Link pinned to the top of the chat. And let's get this show on the road, guys. Let's say hello to a few of you. And let's get going. We don't need Huijsen, another young centre back with experience and leadership. Agreed. So we have Badiashile, Colwell, Tosin, Fofana, Sarr will come next year. We want Guehi, Chalobah will be sold, Anselmino alone. Agreed. There's a lot to get into the centre backs, and we will get into it. Yes, big up. Surely no more kids in summer window. No, I wouldn't have. I mean, look, there probably will be. Let's be real. But as long as we address the positions that we need to address and we do it properly, I actually don't care how many kids come in. But if kids come in and we don't do what we need to do for the first team, then I'll be fuming. Is there any news about Madaweke and Jackson? No, there's been no training news really on that front. So hopefully now that the international break is done, we should start to get a bit more of an update leading into the Spurs game in just over a week's time. Yes, big up, brother. All good. Hope you're good. Yes, people. Smash the likes. Yes, big up. Not a fan of Guehi. Fair enough. Big up. That Huijsen news is a bit weird. The Spanish media saying we're out of the race. Other media saying we're in the race. I think Real said it last year with Euro 2 before he went to United. Yeah. I mean, let's start with the centre-back stuff then. Let's start with it. Yes, afternoon. Choice for goalkeeper for start of next season, Petrovic. Anyway, let's start with this Huijsen news then, because we know that Chelsea are obviously looking for a new centre back this summer. That's not a secret. That is not a secret at all. But we've got a Spanish journalist, Eduardo Burgos, who is pretty reliable. In fairness to him, he's pretty good, saying that Dean Huijsen is expected to leave Bournemouth this summer. No surprises there. Real Madrid have already contacted his entourage. Bayern Munich and Liverpool, if Van Dijk leaves, are the rivals. The fee is 60 million euros. There's a 50 million pound release clause. Chelsea are out of the race. Marc Guehi is their priority. Now, there's also conflicting reports, because you've got other reports coming from Sky, from Sky around Europe. I think Sky in Belgium, saying that obviously Huijsen prefers a move to Spain. You've had his dad sharing the front page of a Spanish newspaper on his Instagram story with the headline is Real Madrid choose Huijsen or something along those lines. So I think it's pretty obvious where Dean Huijsen is going. But then you've got other reports in Spain saying that Chelsea are prepared to outbid Real Madrid for Dean Huijsen, which which I'm not sure whether to believe or not. Real Madrid have been, according to this report, Real Madrid have been monitoring him for 2 years, Huijsen. Apparently, Huijsen's dad has already been to Real Madrid's training ground. What else is there being said here? But apparently there's only one problem. Chelsea. The British club also wants a new Spanish international. and Chelsea would be willing to offer him a higher salary than what Real Madrid are offering. Really? Is that so? However, I would say that given similar offers, the player's entourage and the club's long-term contract are more likely to be a deal for Real Madrid. I think, unfortunately, guys, despite the reports, despite Chelsea's strong interest, despite Chelsea supposedly having a strong relationship with people close to Huijsen, the reality is, guys, he's a Spanish international. Real Madrid are interested. He's going to want to go to Real Madrid. It's very simple, really. It's very, very simple, isn't it? And look, whilst Huijsen is, of course, a top quality player, no, I wouldn't group the whole Spanish media in together. There's definitely some outlets that are more reliable than others. There are some journalists that are more reliable than other journalists, but generally speaking, when it comes to Real Madrid, when it comes to transfers and stuff, generally speaking, the Spanish media are pretty decent. Yes, big up, big up. Yeah, I think it's nailed on. I think it's pretty much nailed on. If you've got a choice between going to Chelsea and going to Real Madrid, especially as a young Spaniard, fresh off making your debut for Spain, there's no way, there's absolutely no way that Huijsen would pick Chelsea over Real Madrid. Bro, Murillo's not going anyway. Signed a new contract at Forest. They'll be playing Champions League football next season, most likely. He, at the bare minimum, is doing next season at Forest. At the bare minimum, he's doing it. Chelsea could make 100 million from the Club World Cup. Yeah, if you win the Club World Cup, I think it's about 97 million pounds is the prize money. I mean, Huijsen is never happening. No, I don't think it is either. No, true. Potentially not. But look, it's Real Madrid. It's Real Madrid. You can't say no to Real Madrid. It's even harder to say no to Real Madrid as a Spanish player as well. It's the peak of football. You can't get bigger or better than putting on that white shirt, playing at the Bernabeu, playing with world-class players, Bellingham's, Mbappe's, Vinicius's. Sometimes you just got to hold your hands up and accept that when Real Madrid want a player, you're facing an uphill struggle. We should go for Schlotterbeck. Yeah, look, Schlotterbeck's impressed at Dortmund this season. Liverpool are reportedly said to be interested in Schlotterbeck. I don't know how true their interest is, but they are said to be interested in Schlotterbeck. So we'll have to wait and see. Jarell Hato, it's gone quiet on that front. And the Thomas Araujo stuff has gone very, very quiet. Very, very quiet. Doesn't mean it's completely off the table, but there's been nothing mentioned about Araujo since last summer. Saliba ranks higher on Real Madrid's wish list than Huijsen. Bro, Saliba's not going to leave this summer. Huijsen will go to Real Madrid this summer. I think it's virtually nailed on. It doesn't mean that Madrid won't look to sign Saliba in 1 or 2 seasons' time. It doesn't mean that. Bro, we're not going to pay for Huijsen. We're simply not. We can put a bid in, but let's be honest here. Let's know our place in the food chain. Real Madrid are top of the food chain. It's as simple as that, guys. It really is as simple as that. Real Madrid, top of the food chain when it comes to transfers. And we're just going to have to hold that in regards to Dean Huijsen. But it's interesting that Marc Guehi is the priority target. Now, people seem to be very divided on Guehi. And I'd be interested to know your thoughts in the chat, guys, on Marc Guehi. What are we saying? What are we saying about Marc Guehi? Because I like Guehi, 24 years of age, England international, would give us that leadership and experience that we need. But I'm not sure if he's of the elite level that instantly upgrades our defence. He improves it, but Guehi's not an elite level centre back, not right now anyway. Obviously price will be key here. Make sure we don't overpay. I think you could get a very good deal for Guehi, given he's going to have 1 year left on his contract in the summer. Given, of course, Chelsea have also got that 20% sell-on clause, so there'll be some sort of further discount there for us compared to others. Guehi's got a history of Chelsea. He's grown up at the club. He knows the club. Obviously, it's a bit different now to when he left. But I think Guehi would be good. Comfortable in a back four, comfortable in a back three. But at the same time, I'm just part of me is a little bit unsure. Not because of his quality, but just because is he going to be... Is he going to elevate us enough at the back? That's the only thing. It'd be an improvement, 100%. But is it enough of an improvement? Is it enough of an improvement? That's the big question here. That is the big question here. Guehi raises the floor, but doesn't necessarily rate. No, look, he's an improvement on what we've got. It's sort of going from like here to here, but it's not up here. But then I think for price and whatnot, and in terms of centre backs that are realistically available that would come to Chelsea, there's very few that take you from here to here. What centre backs take you from here to here that are realistically available and would want to come to Chelsea? Because Huijsen might, in a few years, might take you from here to here, doesn't immediately take you there. Guehi elevates you, but doesn't immediately take you there, but is more likely to do so compared to others. But then you're looking at other centre backs and sort of the age profile that we'd be looking at signing, and there's not many about, guys. There's not many about. I mean, give me some names, because I'm struggling. There's not that many. Want somebody experienced, really miss Thiago Silva's leadership? Yep, absolutely. We need elite. Blucher probably won't pay for an elite centre-back. They would if the price is right, but I don't think we're going to go and see us dropping 70, 80 million pounds on a centre-back. That's not going to happen. Yeah, of course he can. Of course he can. Yeah. Yes, big up. Diamonde, Guehi, Hincape, Joel Ordóñez. I mean, Bastoni's never happening. Schlotterbeck, there's been nothing with Chelsea and Schlotterbeck at all. However, it doesn't mean that we might not get a situation like with Quenda, like with Vega, like with Pedro Neto, where a deal was just announced out of nowhere. It doesn't mean that Chelsea aren't looking. That it doesn't mean that a deal couldn't just randomly appear, because it absolutely could. But so far, I mean, look, Diamonde, young. I mean, I'm not really sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sensing the hype has kind of died down a little bit around Diamonde recently. Hincape, there's not been an awful lot. Ordóñez, again, young. I think he's at Club Bruges. Hanko's an interesting one at Feyenoord. Good player. Bukema at Bologna, I think he is. There's another decent prospect, but none of these are like level raisers. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, that we were strongly linked with a pair of those last summer, but I don't know how likely we are to go back in for those. I think Araujo signed a new contract at Barcelona. He was very close, apparently, to joining Juventus, I think, in January or last summer, but he's penned the new deal at Barcelona. So that's someone and something that's not going anywhere. But you look at true. Essentially, that's kind of what it boils down to. That is essentially what it boils down to. Yeah. The Araujo at Benfica. Yeah. I mean, who knows? But that's essentially what it boils down to. Out the race is kind of, we've either pulled out because he's rejected us, or we know that he's going to choose Real Madrid. And ultimately, there's no shame in missing out to a club like Real Madrid, guys. There's no shame in that. No shame in that whatsoever. It is what it is. You have to know your role in the food chain. You have to know your role in the food chain, people. It's as simple as that. I wouldn't say it was a massive bozo, but I think certainly, as far as I'm aware, the hype has kind of died down around him a little bit. Oh, Van Hecker? I think it's is it Van Hecker? Yeah, it could be Van Hecker. That could well be the one. Yeah, I think you're looking at I think you're thinking of Van Hecker. Guys, 71 in the building, only 29 likes. Let's get these likes up. Keep smashing the like button. It's free. So yeah, make sure you smash the like button. Run it up, guys. Let's get this over 50 likes, and please subscribe as well. He's injured at the moment. I could have sworn he was close to signing a new contract at Bayern Munich. I could have sworn he's close to signing a new deal at Bayern. Again, Branthwaite was close to United last summer, but again, you know, it's a straight. Branthwaite's a weird one because the hype around him has dropped off a little bit as well. The hype around him has also dropped off. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, people. It's going to be interesting. But someone in the chat mentioned it earlier. There's a real thing. We've got a lot of centre backs on the books. What are the plans for all these guys? Do you know what I'm going to do, people? Let me just bring up a little screen, a little pitch, so we can actually write down the names of the centre backs that we've got, and we can just go through what the plans might be here. Because right now, for me, it's looking a bit techie with these centre backs. Like, what is the plan here? Let me just quickly bring this up. Fuck's sake. Right, let's get these blue shirts on here. Yeah. Yeah, right, okay. So, let me just bring this on screen, people, and let's go through the centre-backs that we've currently got at the football club. So, no, fuck, put in a goal. No, forget that. So, centre-backs we've got Colwell, Fofana, Tosin. This is ridiculous. Chalobah. Disasi. Badiashile. Anselmino. And Sarr. That's mental. That's absolutely mental. Look how many centre backs we've got, people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 centre backs on the books. Okay, so it is a fair point what we've got. And you could also put that we could also chuck Renato Vega potentially into the mix, guys, as well. Let's just stick him in there as well, because he's going to want to play at centre back. Whether Chelsea sell him or not is a separate conversation, but he wants to play for centre back with Portugal at the World Cup in 2026. So this is what we're looking at here, guys. Acheampong as well, potentially. Let's put Acheampong in the mix also. I mean, he's right back / centre back, but it's an option there. So let's put him in. So we've basically got 10 players at the football club who can play centre back. So let's look at this here. Right? Okay. So Colwell, Fofana are both staying. I think that's obvious. So Colwell and Fofana are staying. Tosin, I've got no issue with him staying. If he's a fourth choice centre back rotational option, no problem. There's also Alfie Gilchrist as well. Let's stick him in. But again, he's finished. We know that Alfie Gilchrist is finished, but let's put him in anyway. So let's just leave it in. So that's it. That's it now. So we look at it here. Gilchrist, gone. Chalobah, likely to leave, gone. So that's 1, 2. No, Bashir Humphries is done. His was a loan to Burnley with an obligation. So that's done. So Gilchrist will be gone. Chalobah likely to be sold. Disasi will go. Badiash, I think there's a chance that Disasi, definitely Gilchrist, Chalobah and Disasi gone. Anselmino will go on loan. Sarr, I've got no idea what the plan is for Mamadou Sarr. Vega, unless he's going to be a backup left back, I think will be gone. And Achimpong, I think will go out on loan or will be gone. So if we look at it here, let's eliminate some of these names then. Gilchrist, gone. Chalobah, gone. Disasi, gone. Anselmino, loan, gone. Vega, I think, gone. Whether it's a loan or not, he'll be gone. Achimpong, whether it's a loan or not, will be gone. So then you're looking at this here, right? Vega, gone. Anselmino, loan, I think, gone. Disasi, gone. So looking at this here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centre-backs left. I'll be real. I think Badiashil's gone as well. So you're looking at 4 centre-backs there, plus, let's say we get Marc Guehi. So that would be... So is anyone disagreeing with me here, people? Is anyone disagreeing with me? That potentially the 5 centre-back options next season, Colwell, Fofana, Tosin, Sarr, and Marc Guehi. Yeah. That's a bit peak. When you sort of have it all, when you have it all out like that, it suddenly don't look so great, does it? It suddenly doesn't look so great. Thing is though, where does Mamadou Sarr go? Because you're not sending him back to Strasbourg. So are you sending him on a Premier League loan? Are you sending him on a Championship loan? Are you sending him to a different league in Europe somewhere? I agree that Sarr probably does need to go on loan. So again, someone could come in for Tosin. Absolutely. But look, if Tosin's a 4th choice centre back, I've got no issue with him staying at the football club. No issue with him staying at the football club whatsoever. But that's kind of where we are at, people, with the centre backs. That's kind of where we're at, which is which is mad. There's so many. We've got so many on the books. A lot of them need to go, and it's going to be interesting to see who comes in, and it's going to be interesting to see who leaves. But there's going to be a number of departures, and that sort of unit of centre backs is going to look very, very different next season to what it's currently looking like right now. It's going to look very, very different, people. Very different. In that case, we need a left footer, Schlotterbeck. Schlotterbeck's, I can't see Schlotterbeck coming. Chalobah needs to stay. I wouldn't be against Chalobah staying. I'd rather Chalobah stay than Tosin. But I mean, to be fair, both are going to be pure profit because Tosin come on a free whilst Chalobah's an academy product. But let's wait and see. Yes, big up, brother. Hope you're well. Trevor be a perfect squad option. I agree with you. I do agree with you. But I think the expectation is that he goes. I have to be honest. I think the expectation is that he goes. Maybe send Sarr to Marseille, one of the teams that got promoted in the Prem. It's a possibility. But yeah, guys, that is the centre-back situation. Chelsea out the race with Dean Huijsen. You know, whatever you want to read into that, whether they were rejected or not, the outcome's the same. Dean Huijsen is highly unlikely to be a Chelsea player next season. Simple as that. Marc Guehi has now emerged as the new priority. But that brushes us up on the centre-backs. Let's move on again. I know this is a boring conversation, guys, but there's been a small update in the Jadon Sancho saga. Will he, won't he? Will Chelsea look to keep Jadon Sancho or will they not? That's the thing. £5 million penalty fee can be paid to send Sancho back. But now Bild in Germany, Bild is probably the biggest publication in Germany. According to their information, Sancho has told his management he wants to return to Dortmund. Even while at Chelsea, he regularly speaks to his friend Jamie Gittins about Dortmund. Leverkusen have also registered interest. I don't really know what to believe in this whole Sancho saga. I really don't know which bit of the Sancho saga to be believing, guys, because there's so many different reports coming out. Bro, Tosin is not better than Guehi. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I mean, look, the situation with Sancho is Chelsea will take a decision at the end of the season. The penalty fee is £5 million to send him back, and ultimately, it's up to Sancho in between now and the end of the season to put in a level of performance that shows that we should be keeping him. It's as simple as that. Saar be good new team promoted next season, like a Leeds or a Sheffield United. Yeah, maybe. And this is the other side of it, right? While Sancho hasn't been good, he's not been good. 2 goals and an assist this season is poor. No, there's no dressing it up. It's poor. However, for 25 million, and I'm in two minds here, because for 25 million pounds, you're going to struggle to get another player through the door that could maybe give you what Sancho's could give you as a 3rd or 4th choice winger. We know that Chelsea want 5 wingers. They want 5 wingers going into next season. We know that's what Chelsea want. So it's I wouldn't mind if he, for a 25 mil for a 4th or 5th choice winger, is not the end of the world. However, if you pay 25 million for him and his performance levels don't increase with wages and whatnot, it's going to cost you a lot more than 25 million quid to get rid of him. So I'm thinking if there's any doubt in Chelsea's mind, send him back, because Esteval's coming in the summer. Quenda is coming in 2026. Plus, we're going to be signing a right-footed attacker in the window as well. So that in the next 3 transfer windows, 2 wingers are already coming in. So in terms of wanting 5 wingers, Tyreek George loan, Mudryk out the picture right now. You've then got Esteval, Neto, Madaweke, Sancho, right-footed attacker. That would be your 5 options next season. Quenda comes into the mix. That's 6. So someone needs to go. So at best, in my opinion, you are getting, at best, 1 more season out of Jadon Sancho. Really? Because I think in summer 2026, when Quenda comes, another season, another year of Esteval will have a year's experience in the Premier League. I think you're looking at a situation where Sancho, at best, if he stays at Chelsea, is going to get 1 more season. And I don't really see how that is great business for anyone. I don't disbelieve that he regularly speaks to Jamie Gittins. They're mates. So I don't really see that as major news. And do you know what? Maybe Sancho just isn't cut out for the Premier League. Maybe it's that, you know, for some players, it doesn't happen. For some players, it doesn't happen, you know. Maybe it's not to be. And that's fine. You know, not every player makes it in the Premier League, guys. Not every player makes it in the Premier League. So Chelsea have got... This is a difficult decision. I know some people think it's easy, but it is a difficult decision, because what you've got to do here is, okay, send him back for 5 million. Can you trust Chelsea to bring someone in to perform better than Jadon Sancho, who's going to be a 3rd or 4th choice winger next season? That's quite difficult. Would you promote from within? Would you send Sancho back and really give Tyreek George the opportunity? You know, is that a possibility as well? These are all decisions that need to be weighed up. These are all things that need to be decided, and these are things that are difficult to decide as well. These are decisions that require a lot of thought. But ultimately, it's also going to come down to Jadon Sancho as well, because Sancho might go to Chelsea at the end of the season and be like, guys, do you know what? I'm not happy here. I want to go back to Germany. pay that 5 million, and he goes back to United, and United sort out whatever they need to sort out with Dortmund. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? It is an interesting one. I mean, I'm not entirely sure on what the solution is here. I don't know what the best outcome here is, but one thing's for certain: Chelsea have got to get this decision right. They must get this decision right, guys. It's 25 million. I'm keeping Sancho. Just get a striker, and Neto and Sancho will do great. I think it's going to be it's going to take a bit more than just get a striker. Maybe the right-footed left winger, another loan next season, somebody else, not Sancho. Maybe. Sancho, Palmer, Enzo, and they need a natural striker to play their best. Yeah, sure. I agree with that. But striker or not, Sancho's performances have not been good enough this season. And he's not the only one, but his performances have not been good enough this season. And if you're looking at what we've seen from him so far this season, you would have to give serious consideration to potentially sending him back, because the level of performance has not been what's expected. He started really well. We were excited about it. But the reality is now is that, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. We also have Greta. Who's that? Send him back to United and he'll go back to Dortmund. Yeah. Yeah, potentially. Yeah, maybe Felix might come back. I don't know. Or we bring in someone else. Esteval can again be an option there. Esteval can absolutely be an option there, guys. 100% he can be. If Van Dijk, Salah leave, Liverpool finished. Yeah. We need a killer up front. Yeah, sure. So, yeah, that's kind of the latest of Jadon Sancho, guys. Mixed reports. But at the end of the day, the decision will be Chelsea's, and the decision will also be Sancho's about whether he wants to stay. So, you've got two things here. Sancho does well for the remainder of the season, improves his form, contributes, and helps us win the Conference League and qualify for the Champions League, and we keep him. Or he doesn't contribute, Chelsea send him back, or he does contribute and he decides that actually he wants to go back to Germany, then no issues. For 25 mil, we can do a lot worse. As a squad player, he's not bad. He's done it in spells at United and Chelsea. We need capable players around him. We do need capable players around him. And Sancho thrives in a pass and move system. He's a pass and move player, needs runners beyond him, needs an overlapping fullback, constantly needs a passing option. And in fairness to him, we haven't set up like that and we don't play like that. However, he does need to be doing a lot better. A lot better. That's the reality of the situation here. He needs to be doing much better. If we don't sign Sancho, who would you want to sign on his and Mish's replacement? Yeah, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. I wouldn't be against going with someone like Ademola Lookman. Again, there have been links with Nico Williams, but the salary is ridiculous, so I don't really see any truth in those. Jamie Gittins, maybe you could do something there potentially. I know Chelsea have looked at him. The Garnacho thing, I don't think we'll go back in for him. If we wanted him, why didn't we get him in January? You know, that would be my thoughts on that. So yeah, it is a tricky one, guys. It is a tricky one. I don't know what the best solution here is. I see Chelsea paying 60 mil for a winger this summer. I'm not sure. Yeah, and this is maybe where I'm slightly leaning more towards. If he's not going to be a regular starter and he's just going to be a squad player, then I don't really see too much of an issue with it. But to be brutally honest, people, either way, I'm easy. If he stays and he's a squad player, no big deal. If we send him back, it's not the end of the world, in my opinion. It's not the end of the world, in my opinion, if we decide to send him back. I don't know. I think Lookman's developed a lot since he was last at the Premier League. Obviously, he's been he was at Fulham and he was at Everton as well as a youngster. I think he's developed a lot. He's a top player now, and I think things could potentially be a bit different for him this time. But yeah, the winger market is tricky as well. That's not the easiest, guys. That's not the easiest either. So Chelsea have got some intriguing decisions that they need to make in the summer. And this is why this summer is so vital. So vital. You know, so vital. But again, do we have the faith in those in charge to do the right thing and get the players in that we need to get in order to take us to the next level? And that's where there's a big question mark for me. A big question mark. And I'm not sure if we are prepared to do it. I'm not sure if we're prepared. I'm not sure if I've got the trust in those that are in the relevant positions to get this shit done. Because so far they failed to address key areas. Semenyo is good. I think he'll have interest as well. He'll have interest from the Premier League. He'll probably have interest from abroad also. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Semenyo come from Bristol City? Eze also plays left wing, by the way. Yeah, I mean, Eze, sure. But this is massive. This is huge, you know. This summer is really big, guys. Really big. People keep smashing the like button. We're 74 in the building, but we are only on 41 likes. Come on, guys. We can do better than this, people. We can do better than this. Smash that like button, get this up to 50 likes, and make sure you are subscribing if you are new round here as well. We're heading towards 16k. We are 75 subscribers away from it. So please do hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. I would really appreciate it. It would help me get to 16k as quickly as possible, guys. So make sure that you are doing that, people. So yeah, get it done, guys. Right. Yep, stay away from Garnacho. What would be your priority position-wise? Centre forward is the most important. Centre forward, centre back, winger, goalkeeper. We need proven players. Yep, we do. I don't think Chelsea will be looking at Francisco Trincao, unfortunately. Enough of all the Chelsea bullshit. Once he's done his own fucks, we can get to some normality. Bro, I think that's very extreme. This has not been worse than getting relegated. The team that rebuilds the best next season wins the league. I agree with you. I agree with this, you know, because Liverpool are going to need some form of rebuild. City are going to go for a bit of a rebuild. Arsenal are going to do major business in the summer, you would expect. Chelsea, if we get what we need to get and the required quality, then we could potentially be in the mix. So the title race next season could well be decided. I know they've got to play the matches and stuff, but it could well be decided in the it could be decided in the summer transfer window. Semenyo came from Bristol City. Yep, fair. What will we do with the goalkeeper situation? I'm not too sure. Hopefully, I mean, reports have said that Petrovic will come back and compete for the number one slot. So, yeah, we'd all like a new goalkeeper, but I'd be more than happy to stick with Petrovic for a season, see how he does, and address other areas that I believe are more important. It's very difficult to say. It's very difficult to say because of for various reasons. It's impossible to tell. I just don't think he's the kind of player that Chelsea would be looking at. I just don't believe he's the kind of player that Chelsea would be looking at. But I could be wrong. No, I haven't said anything about Guehi. No, there's not really been anything about these players. There hasn't really been anything about the likes of Guehi so far. But yeah, moving. Petrovic has definitely improved a lot. Yeah, 100%. He's improved considerably. There's no denying that. Absolutely no denying that. He has improved considerably. But yeah, let's move on from here, people. Let's get cracking with some stadium news, because The Athletic have done a piece today on the stadium saying that Chelsea sources say there will be no stand-by-stand rebuild due to costs, disruption, and limited ability to improve matchday experience to capacity. The two options left are a complete demolition and redevelopment, or moving to Earl's Court. That's literally it, guys. It's very, very simple. Very, very simple. Mitoma, the Japanese international. I mean, Al Nassr, the Saudi side, tried to sign him twice. I think they made 2 bids. Was it in January they made 2 bids for him? So let's wait and see. But there's no doubt about it. We're in desperate need of a better stadium. Desperate need of a better stadium. And so knock down Stamford Bridge or you go to Earl's Court. And as far as I'm concerned, it should be an absolute no-brainer to go to Earl's Court. I mean, it shouldn't, if we're being real here, guys, it shouldn't even be a conversation. It shouldn't even be a conversation. Let me just get this article up and see what other details there are. But Chelsea are getting left behind. We are missing out on so much revenue. It's on matchday revenue. It's a joke. Once Everton move into their new stadium next season, we will be 10th in the Premier League in terms of stadium capacities. 10th. It's crap. It's embarrassing. 10th biggest ground in the Premier League. Nah, that can't be happening. We need a better stadium. Need a better stadium. It's very, very simple. Yeah, but look, Earl's Court. We're not moving areas. It's the match day experience would be exactly the same. You go to the same places. You take the same route in. You go to the same pubs before the game and after the game or whatever. Yeah, I agree with it. I agree with it. I absolutely agree, bro. You know, in the long run, if we refuse to move and we just demolish Stamford Bridge and build there, you're stuck at 60k. You're stuck at 60k. That's the reality of the situation here. If Sunderland get promoted, we'll be 11th. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. So, so June will mark the 3rd anniversary of since Chelsea were taken over. Only one option has been definitively discounted in regards to the stadium. According to senior club sources, there will be no stand-by-stand renovation at Stamford Bridge. In terms of the costs involved, the disruption and the limited ability to improve matchday experience or capacity, such a revamp is not regarded as feasible. That leaves only a complete demolition and redevelopment of Chelsea's home of 120 years, or move to the other end of Brompton Cemetery and the vast site which formerly housed the Earl's Court Exhibition Centre. The new unique challenges involved in the former would likely make it one of the most complicated stadium construction projects undertaken by a football club, whilst the costs involved in purchasing the Earl's Court site from property developer Delancey and then building a modern stadium on it would be formidably expensive. There is a widespread belief that Bowley is set on moving to Earl's Court. Go on, Todd. While Clearlake has not ruled out staying at Stamford Bridge as it continues to evaluate both stadium options. The reality is that neither party has declared their position, and Chelsea are trying to maintain a delicate balance between thorough due diligence and a sense of urgency that recognises how far the club has already fallen behind many Premier League rivals in this regard. Roman Abramovich knew Chelsea needed a new stadium to match their new status 15 years ago. There is a problem that Clearlake and Bowley inherited, and one of the conditions of their takeover was a firm commitment to build a stadium befitting of a club in Europe's elite. The initial suggestions that a stadium plan would be communicated by the end of 2022 seemed optimistic, even at the time. That self-imposed deadline was pushed back to the summer of 2023, then to sometime in 2024. None of this changes the fact that Chelsea are caught between two dauntingly unenviable options, one which presents huge feasibility challenges and the other which requires land they do not own. Publicly tipping their hat towards either before they have a proposal that is fleshed out and fully costed might put the entire endeavour in jeopardy. There is a natural contrast here with United, who earlier this month announced plans to build a new 100,000-seater stadium, but moving too slowly runs the risk of Chelsea's already limited options dwindling further. Delancey, via the Earls Court Development Company, submitted a hybrid planning application to the Borough of Kensington and Chelsea and the London Borough of Hammersmith and Fulham in July last year for a sprawling mixed-use development on the Earls Court site. This would include the construction of 4,000 homes, extensive retail and office space, 3 large cultural and performance venues, and an urban park. That proposal was formally validated in September, and public consultation concluded in November. Chelsea know all too well from Abramovich's aborted Cathedral of Football Stadium project that planning approval alone is no guarantee that a project will happen. So yeah. In the meantime, other Premier League clubs continue to pursue their own stadium projects. Everton will bump Stamford Bridge down from 9th to 10th in the ranking of the division's largest stadiums. Clearlake and Bowley know that a new Chelsea stadium is a must within the next 10 years. The only option they cannot countenance is doing nothing. To get it done, they're also keenly aware they will need to work with the CPO. Abramovich failed in the only previous attempt to gain the required 76% CPO support to move Chelsea to another stadium back in 2011. So, yeah, those are the options, guys. Those are the options. Let me see what you lot have been saying in the chat. No room for daft sentiment. I wouldn't call it daft sentiment, but yeah, I agree with the point. I agree with the point, guys. I agree with the point. Don't want to play at Wembley like what Spurs did. No, I don't either. I really don't. We can still enjoy Stamford Bridge whilst building Earls Court as well. Absolutely, we have to evolve. Yeah, agreed on the Wembley front. Yeah, it does. It does. Look, Earls Court's an ideal situation, and it's not off the table. So many people have said to me, "Oh, it's off the table. It's off the table." No, it's not. They've got planning permission, but until that project starts, it's not off the table. Yeah, it was good, but again, you're limited to 60k at Stamford Bridge. You're limited to 60k at Stamford Bridge. It does make perfect sense. I mean, look, that's just his opinion. You know, I've spoken to pitch owners, and there's been pitch owners in the chat on various shows that have said they would vote in favour of moving Stamford Bridge. So you're always going to have a split amongst the pitch owners, but you've got 2 alternatives here. You've got 2 options: Earls Court, but you've got to buy the land, or you knock down Stamford Bridge completely, but then you're limited in what you can do because of the various difficulties with where the stadium's situated and all kind of the historical architecture around it in terms of blocking views and all that sort of jazz. You know, so Earls Court makes the most sense in my opinion. Yeah, and this will also give us value as well. This will also give us value, guys. I mean, that ultimately, at the end of the day, you either get left behind You either get left behind or you evolve with the times, people. Very simple, guys. Very, very simple. Evolve or get left behind. And right now, we are in danger of getting left behind. We're in grave danger of being left behind, people. And we cannot allow that to happen. And I really do think, guys, it's going to limit our ability to be a big football club in the future. Simple. You know, and ultimately, if we don't do anything, then if you stay at Stamford Bridge, it's higher ticket prices, sell our best players, and be a team that fights for top 5. Or we move and we improve our chances of winning. You know, that's as simple as that's what it comes down to at the end of the day, guys. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Not difficult. Both of them are difficult options. But what's stopping us is the fact that obviously at Stamford Bridge, because of the unique location, we're massively limited in what we can do there. And secondly, we don't own the Earls Court ground. Earls Court land, sorry. Whereas with United, it's a lot easier for them. They've got the space there, the land's there, and they could quite easily get the old planning permission and all that jazz. So how can people not understand the importance of increasing the stadium capacity? Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is the point here. You know, if you don't want to see like academy players being sold, if you don't want to see that sort of thing, you want to see us being able to compete to sign top players. We need to move stadium to get more revenue in order to do that. You know, at the end of the day, like players come and go, but regardless of where Chelsea play, Chelsea will always be Chelsea. If it's not at Stamford Bridge, if it's at Earls Court, then Chelsea will still be Chelsea. You know, if we were moving to like North London or something, then yeah, I get it. That's a totally different conversation, and that's something that would need to be thought about. You know, and I would absolutely understand that. And I would absolutely understand that. So yeah, I mean the stadium, yeah, it is what it is. Guys, keep smashing the likes, run it up, people. We're on 49 likes. Let's get this to at least 60, 70 likes if we can, guys. 85 in the building. Please hit the thumbs up button. It helps me more than you could imagine, and I would greatly appreciate it, guys. It is really, really helpful. So please do that, people. Please do that. I would greatly appreciate it. And hit the subscribe button as well whilst you're at it. Looking to head towards 16,000 subscribers. We're 75 away. Every new subscriber helps. So make sure you're hitting the subscribe button and make sure you're hitting the likes. Let's get it done. Let's get it done, guys. Come on. If we stand still, we fail. Yeah, exactly. We're not going to stand still. But even knocking Stamford Bridge down, you wait 5, you probably play away from Stamford Bridge for 4 or 5 years, and then what you're accepting is that you're going to beat your 60,000 seats, and that's it. And you're never going to get any bigger than that. Yeah, sure. Look, we may well end up keeping Sancho. We may well end up keeping Jadon Sancho. We can build new history at Earls Court. Absolutely. Big Jim doing a better job regarding United. I wouldn't say he's doing a better job. They've got it's much easier for United in regards to a stadium. It's so much easier. I mean, look, they can get a shirt sponsor if they want to. It's not the fact they couldn't get one. It's the fact that they want to be in the Champions League so they can sign a more lucrative long-term sponsorship deal. You know, if they had to get a sponsorship deal this season, they could have done, but they obviously chose not to. The truth is that the people that don't want to move are the same people that bang on about proper Chelsea. Yeah, bro, I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. No, there's no building works going. They've got planning permission and they're pressing ahead with some new development site that they're looking to do there. But nothing's confirmed, nothing's done yet, nothing's started. Until there's shovels in the ground and whatnot, then nothing's confirmed. So whilst there's planning permission for sort of a retail office space kind of project thing, houses and whatnot, that there's nothing been officially confirmed that that's underway yet. But both options are difficult, and this is where I actually will have some sympathy of the owners on this front, because Chelsea are in a very unique situation, and a very tricky situation when it does come to the stadium, because of how limited we are. Because of how limited you are. So yeah, it's a difficult task. It's a difficult task. Yeah. Well, look, one of those two things will happen. We'll knock it down, or we'll go to Earls Court. But those are the two options. A news article posted yesterday that Earls Court Projects is struggling to recoup money for the project. I mean, I've not seen that. Yeah, it probably would, but in the long term, it would be better for us. I would say, in the long term, I think it would be better for us, in my personal opinion. But that's just my view. Nah, can't see it happening. Cannot see that happening. I just don't think there's not the land or that available, and that's a long way from Chelsea. That's a long way from Chelsea. It just wouldn't be feasible. It just wouldn't be feasible. We'll get serious dosh if we sold Stamford Bridge. We would get serious dosh. I mean, I don't know if we'd sell Stamford Bridge or not, or what would happen to the Stamford Bridge site. But yeah, it would certainly be interesting. It would certainly be interesting. Yeah, agreed on this. Yeah, I don't want to be playing somewhere else for 4 or 5 years. No chance. Is that? Yeah, it's the same location. Yep, true. Or if Earls Court can't happen, then the only other solution is knock it down, and we're on and we're on a complete rebuild, and we go and play somewhere else. That's it. I mean, look, there's nothing there's no proposal for them to vote for or against at this point in time. If there's a decent proposal put on the table and they vote against it, valid criticism. But until then, until there's a proposal put on the table to vote for or against, then you can't really criticize them, because there's nothing for them to vote on just yet. So that's kind of the latest in regards to the stadium, guys. That's the latest in regards to the stadium. I mean, hopefully we'll get some more news on that front in due course. But I mean, I'm not really expecting an awful lot. I'm not really expecting an awful lot on that front. But yes, demolition and rebuild is low-key a good option to maintain pitch owners' interest. You can transfer the CPO to the new stadium. That you can do that. That wouldn't be an issue. That would not be an issue, guys. We're only on 56 likes. Come on, people. Come on, people. Run it up. Run it up. Run it up. Let's get these likes up, guys. Come on. So yeah, look. Until there's a vote, until there's a like a legitimate proposal on the table to vote for or against, then I won't be criticizing the pitch owners. If, as I said, I will dish out criticism if there's a legitimately good project on the table at Earl's Court, for example, and they were to vote against it, then yeah, I would be critical. But until that point arises, then there's like people like for me, I don't understand criticism of the CPO until a situation arises where they've got something to vote for. And until that point comes, guys, then any criticism is misguided. If we gave the bridge to Earl's Court, people, so they can continue to build whatever they're building, let me take Earl's Court. I mean, I don't know. Any striker updates? No, not really. Nothing new to add on the striker front, guys. Nothing new on the striker front. So, yeah. We've still got to wait for that. We've still got to wait for that. Striker news, yeah. Let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see on any potential striker news. Bro, that'd be terrible. That'd be awful. You know, it's a much smaller ground. That wouldn't be good. That really wouldn't be good, in my opinion, to go and play at Craven Cottage. No, that wouldn't be the one, guys. That would not be the one. We as fans are going to outlast these owners anyway. Let's move to Earl's Court. Yeah, no, agreed. Because let's say you get your 60,000 newly built Stamford Bridge. But at some point, that's the most you can have at Stamford Bridge. So unless Chelsea are going to play in a 60,000 seater stadium for eternity, then you're going to have to leave Stamford Bridge at some point. So why not just do it now? That would be the way that I'd be looking at it. I don't get me wrong, it's a nice ground to go to and whatnot, and it's a great away day. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, to play in there every week for 4 or 5 years, no, not for me, not for me, not for me, not for me. But each to their own in that regard. Each to their own in that regard. Earl's Court, simple as that. That is what I would like. That would be my preference. Go to Earl's Court, and it's the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds. Very, very simple, guys. Best of both worlds, easy. If Arsenal signed the lap, Arsenal aren't going to sign the lap. Yeah, Stamford Bridge is not good. Not good. No, that is absolutely fair. And yeah, Wembley is a pain in the arse. I mean, it's not a million miles to me, but it's a pain in the arse to get to, and getting out of it shit as well, because everyone goes to the same tube station. It's an absolute nightmare, and it's not something that I would be that I'd be particularly keen on. It's not something I'd be particularly keen on at all. Stamford Bridge has been outdated for the last 20 years. Yeah, it's been tricky. Yeah, it's been tricky. I wouldn't say 100%, but I would say, yeah, we're heading towards it looking very likely that Chelsea will end up with Liam Delap. I think that's a safe bet. Well, look, at the end of the day, we'd have to go to Wembley. It would be Wembley. We'd have to go there. But that's why I'm against a rebuild, because you have to go and play somewhere else for years, and that's crap. Basically, that is really shit. So It needs to be Earl's Court. But if it comes to that and we have to go and play somewhere else, we have to go and play somewhere else. Nothing I can do about it. Yeah, Samu's doing well at Porto. I mean, I don't know if we're going to necessarily go back in for him or not. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting to see. But yeah, that's kind of that's where we're at, people. Max Bayer, no, it's not. That's not going to happen. Oh, easily. I mean, Bournemouth obviously smaller, but yeah, it's easily up there with one of the smallest. No doubt, guys. No doubt whatsoever. I mean, I don't know how long Earl's Court would take to build, but at least then you can still play in Stamford Bridge whilst Earl's Court is being built. So that's a much better thing. Look, it's just a better scenario all round. But again, it's going to come down to the right proposal being put on the table, and it's also going to come down to the vote at the end of the day. So we've got to make sure that the best possible proposal for Earl's Court, if it's possible, is put on the table so that it can't be voted against. And that's what we need. That is what we need. Yeah, Jonathan David on a free, that's yeah, I wouldn't be against that as a signing, I wouldn't be against that as a signing. And it's not terrible at all. It's not terrible at all. Potentially, I mean, I wouldn't say it was likely, but I also wouldn't say that it's fully off the table. I also wouldn't say it's fully off the table. Have all the international football finished? Yeah, I think it's finished. Yeah. No, I disagree with that. Depending on the proposal, let's wait and see. Well, yeah, there will be, because it has to be the Chelsea pitch owners have to approve it. I think it's got to be like a 75% majority. So yeah, there does need to be a vote. Yep, agreed. Bro, I don't think Twickenham's been spoken about before. I don't think Twickenham would be open to having football held there, basically. So I don't even know how viable an option Twickenham would be. So yeah, we wait and see on that front. We'll wait and see on that front. But let's see what other news there is, if there is any. No, I'm not sure if that's been said or not. I don't know. Osimhen's release clause, I think, is around £63 million. Gyökeres could be available for a similar amount, maybe a bit less. There's not going to be an awful lot in it between the two. So yeah. We've got a bit of news on Noni Madaweke, guys. Because Noni Madaweke is attracting interest. Yeah, I'll do it on my next live because I'm going to have to round out shortly and get back to work. But yeah, there's a bit of news on Madaweke. Let me just get that news. Let me just get that news. Where has it gone? Newcastle and Aston Villa are keeping an eye on the situation of Noni Madaweke. Chelsea could opt to cash in to fund new summer signings. I mean, I'd rather keep Noni than Sancho, but Madaweke you could probably get a reasonable fee for. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but again, but then with Mikhailo Mudryk out of the picture as well, I'm not sure I'd be open to letting Madaweke go. I really don't think I would be. I mean, I'd keep Noni. He's been one of our better performers this season. He's our third highest scorer in the league. Yeah, sure. Esteval is coming in, but we're going to have to be patient with him. You don't know what the situation with Mudryk is. And so let's wait and see. But again, I wouldn't feel that great personally about selling Madaweke this summer. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. It's not for me. I wouldn't be on board with that at all. Yeah, nah, that's not for me. Bro, it's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that, you know. It really isn't that simple. Sure, but look, Maresca described him as one of Chelsea's best players earlier this season. I like Madaweke. I think he brings a lot to the team, and I think you can tell what he brings when he's when he's missed. Because you don't just sell 3 players and then bring in 3 wingers in the same window. Like that doesn't happen. This is exactly it. People are saying, "I'll get rid of Madaweke and bring in Esteban, who's never kicked a ball outside of Brazil, and put ridiculous pressure on an 18-year-old." It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I'd be keeping Madaweke this summer. I'd be keeping him. But I think he is good enough. Why is he not good enough? I think people sort of just live in a bit of a delusional world. Let's have a look. What's this Felix news? Well, I mean, I don't know how true this is, but could have seen this a mile off. Joao Felix's agent, Jorge Mendes, has told Chelsea management his client wants to join Galatasaray in the summer and wants the clubs to come to an agreement. What have I said about Felix this week or earlier? I think it was this week or maybe end of last week. This guy will be in Turkey in a few years' time. And here we potentially have a first report of Felix potentially wanting to go to Turkey. Would suit him. It would suit him. No doubt. No doubt at all. It would suit him. Of course it would suit him. Easy. I mean, I think we could come to an agreement with Galatasaray. I don't think that would be too difficult. I don't think that would be too difficult at all, guys. What source is this? Let's have a look. Sporks. I mean, I've not really heard of them before. What is this? Obviously, it's a Turkish thing. There's no translation. No, we leave that. Yeah. Bro, Felix, people are obsessed with Felix. He produces nothing. Who Madaweke is better than Felix. Produces more end product than Felix. Neto is better than Felix. Palmer is better than Felix. Nkunku, okay, maybe not. No. Felix is not good. People just like the idea of him. He's not good. He's got no end product. He doesn't offer anything. You know, there's a reason why no clubs want him. There's a reason why no club wants him. I mean, look, as a squad option on the bench, I'd probably take it. But I think the reality is, guys, is that we know Felix won't be here next season. Maresca didn't want Felix in the first place, and Chelsea will definitely look to move him on. Chelsea will definitely look to move him on. No doubt about it. If it's doable, Chelsea will definitely move João Felix on. Simple as. So yeah, there we go. But yeah, people, going to round this one out here now. Big up to everyone that's tuned in this afternoon. Greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Good show as always. Please do smash the like button on the way out. We're on 62 likes. Let's get this to 70 likes on the way out. Make sure you smash the like button, people. Subscribe to the channel if you are new round here. I would really appreciate it. Please help me get to 16K. We're about 75 away now. It's less than 100, guys. So let's really get 16K. That would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Have a good day. I'll be back tomorrow with some form of content, depending on what news there is. So make sure you stay locked in for that. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Have a good evening. And I'll catch you all again tomorrow. Up the Chelsea, and we're out. Peace.